Happy Mother's Day! Hello, everybody. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Whether you're a, dog mom, cat mom, lizard mom, human mom, all of the moms. So, happy Mother's Day. Hopefully, you guys are all having a great day, or you had a great morning, having a great day. Hopefully, you had a little breakfast in bed. Or if you don't have kids, hopefully, you're not doing anything at all. Shoot. That's what I would be doing. There's Ina. She's been a member for 3 months. That means her Titan arm should have changed. I think it goes from silver to gold. And then you go from gold to rainbow, I believe, after 6 months. That's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. There's Eddie. I was wondering where Eddie was with the coming in hot with a super sticker. Thanks, Eddie. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we are going to talk about a case that's it's a newer case. It happened a couple weeks ago in the beginning of the month. We went over it once before on a live. And we're going to go back over it again because there's more stuff that's come out. And this case is not going to be done, I don't believe, as fast as we think it's going to be done. Or as fast as the Sheriff's Department down in Okmulgee County, Oklahoma, think it's going to be. So, oh, Jan, lunch with your girls. Oh, I love that. That's the best kind. It's the best kind of lunch. That's what I sent Vincent out to get food earlier, and I forgot it was Mother's Day. Like I didn't forget, but I didn't think about it being Mother's Day. And I was like, oh, it's like the busiest day in the world for restaurants. So hopefully everybody was nice to their servers today. I used to be a server. It used to be, working on Mother's Day. That was something else. That was one of those things you always had to do. You always had to work Mother's Day. So there's the kids that we're going to be talking about today. I tried to blow up the picture a little bit for you guys, but it's Riley Allen, Tiffany Guess, Michael Mayo, Ivy Webster, and Brittany Brewer. That's pictures of them there. Yeah, long time no see, Ina. Where you been, girl? Oh, happy Mother's Day, said ladies. You are the reason why we're all here. Oh, I love that you and your mom always cook. I love that. That's even better. Because then you can learn new recipes. Unless your mom isn't a great cook. Then maybe it's time to go out, huh? My mother on Mother's Day I don't even know what we would do for her. I'm trying to think. I mean, we would always get her cards and flowers and things of that nature. But I feel like on Mother's Day, she still always ended up doing something for us kids. Like it was always still us kids. And, in her mind. And so now I celebrate with my animals. I make sure they all know it's Mother's Day. All 3 of them. I'm like, leave me alone. But they don't understand. I don't think they understand that. Because they don't leave me alone. I was about to say, how's Boo doing? She got to come home? Oh. Well, that's good that she's home. Because she's probably more comfortable being at home. Let me turn my camera on. I know when I was in the hospital and I was messaging you, like, you bringing her pajamas and stuff, that's like the best thing in the world. Like, that's the first thing I asked for when I was in the hospital. What can I wear instead of this hospital gown? It was literally the first things probably I could try to speak. I hated the hospital gowns. As soon as I got over to where I was in rehab, like for my legs and my, mobility and stuff, I was able to wear whatever I wanted as long as it didn't have pants. Like it had to be like a long nightgown, t-shirt or whatever, just as long as it didn't have pants so they didn't have to cut that extra like layer, I guess, off of me. And we worked with that. I wore nightgowns. They were the cutest little nightgowns. And it was fun because then everyone bought me nightgowns. But yeah, give her our love. She's probably so happy to be home though. I remember when I went in on a Friday. I think it was a Friday or Saturday. I thought I was going home that Monday. It was in my brain. Like a week later. Not like that Monday, but the Monday after. And my mom had to like come in my room and sit down and have like a serious conversation saying, you're not going home. Huh? You're going to rehab, girlfriend, and your legs are shattered. I just wanted to go home. So I understand. I can feel her I could feel her pain through you. Like you, but you telling me you brought her pajamas. That made me. I was like, oh, that's the best thing you could do. It really is. And then just being there, and food. Food's always good. Hospital food is never good ever. Since 2019. Oh, yeah. No matter what, H-Town's finest. No matter what. I we used to work with a girl. She's older than me, and her and her mom didn't get along, and I couldn't understand that concept. And I was like, but you have to get along with your mother. So hopefully she did repair that little relationship rift they had. But I think wasn't anything big, but hopefully, because you should always spend some time with your mama. Hey, Mystic. We're just waiting for everyone to kind of come in. We're going to start any minute now. She can wear about anything she likes. Aw. She just likes a pocket to hold that heart thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe you can get her I'd get her a packet of t-shirts. Like, if you can get them on Amazon or something with a little pocket. Usually, if you put t-shirts in bulk or something like that, it might be cheaper that way. I would do that. If she has to, something, you can get her something cute. Get her something with her little initials on the little pocket. We will get a Cricut if we have to. You're cutting watermelon at 2:30 in the morning. That's sweet, though. Aw. I'm good. Thanks, Mystic. I actually just got out of the shower. If you guys can't tell, my hair is still wet. Fresh. My face is super shiny because I put some lotion on. And I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and go on live like this because, Yeah, no, I hate hospital food. I know. I didn't eat it the whole time I was there. I refused that stuff. They were trying to, it was pureed because my mouth was wired shut. And I was like, soup. Find me some soup. That's what I would say. So, this isn't all of the victims. Or I'm going to say victims. So these are the children that were involved in this horrific crime that happened on May 1st, 2023. Just happened the beginning of this month. Like I said, this is Riley, Tiffany, Michael, Ivy, and Brittany. Their ages are 17. Well, Riley is 17. Tiffany's 13. Michael is 15. Ivy, 14. Brittany, 16. So literally 15 through 17. Every age. And then their mother and her husband, this is her boyfriend, husband, are pictured here. This is Holly and her husband, Jesse McFadden. And so, has everyone heard of this? I think we've all heard of this story. Or not story, but case. I always say story, but I mean case. Hey, Nookie. But basically, I'll go back to actually, I have another thing I can show you guys while we're talking. Let's let this play. There we go. I'll just let this play. But basically, Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer were visiting their friend, their best friend, Tiffany Guest, which brought them all over to the house that weekend of the 1st. The 1st was on Monday. The weekend, I guess, of the end of April. So although this is something that they did, a lot with Tiffany, they all were best friends and they all stayed together. The parents seemed like that, the parents of Tiffany and Brittany, or I'm sorry, Ivy and Brittany, they seemed like they maybe had never went inside the home, but they did talk with the parents before, Holly and the stepfather, Jesse. So that's the house pictured there. When the girls didn't return home and they weren't answering their phone calls and text, that's when they alerted the police, and the police ended up sending out an Amber Alert of some sort. It was like an emergency alert. And it was issued for the girls. The first thing that I saw that was issued was, one of the first things that came up was this here for Facebook. It's Nathan Brewer, which is Brittany's father. Just so you know, saying that his daughter is missing. She was last seen Saturday around 5 p.m. Last contact was at 10 a.m. on Sunday, which we think now that wasn't her. She went to McAllister, Oklahoma with a friend and has not returned. And then, her weight and her height there. And then they put pictures up of her. People go there to eat at the hospital. Wow. Middle of nowhere house. Yeah. Let me put that back up there for a minute. Because it really is. It's like, it's out there. But then again, I'm from a small town. So we have places like this that are like 5 minutes outside of town. Basically, they're like right on the, I mean, I don't know if this house is like that, but where I am from, it's right off of the main, oops, sorry, right off the main road. So, yeah, there was an emergency alert sent, yeah, to the phones on Sunday. Because somebody, I can't remember who it was. There was somebody that put the alert up, I think on their community tab or something, and they were saying something about it because they had never seen an alert like that before. And I wish I had the alert. I might have to look it up because was it like endangered persons or something of like that nature? This is a nightmare. Yes, Robert, this is a nightmare. Just watching this video, like earlier I was watching this and there's not even any sound, and I was like, whoa, like the property's vast. I didn't realize how big it was. Oh, is it gonna like go? Might end up changing. Oh, it's gonna change up. Finally changed on me. Okay. Let me see what else is going to show you. So the police ran the names of the girls that were staying with. They were staying with this guy. Let me get my words here. Sorry. They ran Jesse McFadden through their database. I guess it was a national database. And that's why the alert was sent out, because they thought they were believed to be with a guy that was in the registry, is what I'm, getting. Was it criminalized in line? I couldn't remember if it was or not. I could not remember for the life of me. She's from Oklahoma. I've never been to Oklahoma, but I bet it's beautiful. So this is Oklahoma here, Henryetta. So, we're hoping that maybe since he did unalive himself, and he's no longer here, we're hoping that we're going to be able to, we're hoping that there's going to be like laws that are going to be changed, and there's going to be, just different things that are going to be changed within their community. The police station needs to be, sheriff station needs to be revamped. I mean, they dropped the ball on this one, and you'll see as we go along just how bad they really dropped the ball on this one. I think this guy here on the screen, he needs to go. First and foremost, he needs a desk job. The other guy that was doing the press conference, he seemed like he didn't want to be there. It just, very crazy to me. Very, very, very crazy. Sorry, guys. I'm having a little bit of a party. I was having a little bit of a difficulty there. Let me get a better picture up here for you guys. So, basically, they only found all of the bodies because the police went to the property to execute a search warrant on Jesse for failure to appear in court that morning, because he was supposed to be in court Monday morning for solicitation of a minor. That court date actually stemmed from when he had charges filed back in 2017, when Jesse was accused of using a cell phone to exchange nude photos and videos with an underage girl while he was serving time for a 2003 rape. So he had already been in the system for a very, very, very long time. I mean, I think 17 years is a long time. You would think after 17 years you'd be rehabilitated a little bit, but some people can't be. Some people can't be. And he went in young too. Sorry, y'all, I'm having like a little difficulty with my little fingernail there. I'm still confused. I don't know, maybe you guys have heard this. I'm still confused on why the parents didn't go directly to the house, knowing that the girls were there. Maybe somebody knows that in the chat. I don't know. Because, unless they did go to the house and I just didn't hear it. Maybe they did. But the cops really dropped the ball in this case, releasing the house full of narcotics. It was full of sex toys, bondage equipment. They even had a bolt and chain on the kitchen island that why do you need a bolt and chain on a kitchen island? And I'm going to show you videos of that stuff again too. So we're going to watch a video of the parents going through the home and finding these things. And we watched one on Banfield, and this one I believe is a little bit different. Actually, let me share this one with you. This will kind of get us caught up. It'll give you like a little brief summary. It's just the beginning of the case.
In Henryetta, police in Okmulgee identifying 6 victims, including 5 children, after their bodies were found on an eastern Oklahoma property. Police say the suspect, Jesse McFadden, was found dead as well. And tonight we're learning the gruesome details about how these people were murdered. Officials saying McFadden shot them all at least once in the head. Monday morning, 2 teens, Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer, were reported missing. Police then activated their violent crimes task force, and they served a search warrant.
A lot of us got that alert on our phones when that happened. And during the investigation, police say at least 3 bodies were found separately, 150 yards apart from each other, while the other 4 were found together, nearly 450 yards away. Police sharing that they are still unclear of McFadden's motive.
I follow the evidence, all right? And the evidence is that Jesse McFadden murdered 6 people and then killed himself. Beyond that, I don't know what his thought process was. Whether he planned this, and if he did, how long, I don't have any evidence to base an opinion one way or the other on that.
McFadden was a registered sex offender. He was due in court that day. And join us tonight at 6 o'clock. KOCO's Megan Mosley speaks to one teen who was supposed to attend that sleepover but did not. That sleepover, of course, resulting in 7 deaths, 6 victims.
So, yeah, can you believe that? So he basically, the guy was in prison from 2003 for a rape charge. While he was in jail, while serving time, he wrote the judge asking for forgiveness. It was not even a year after he was in jail he was doing this. So let me read that to you. Thank you, Eddie, for the super sticker. How's it going? It's going great over here. Can't get my words today, but other than that, I'm doing great. But say, Summer, are you hiding right now? Because you're at your mom still, aren't you? Are you hiding out? Maybe we're protecting her from everybody. We're saving her. This is the video that I was going to show you guys. So this is the video that is going to show you just how bad the cops kind of dropped the ball. Basically, the cops released the house to the homeowner. The homeowner called the victim's family and said, basically, hey, if you want this stuff, you can come and get it. If not, I'm going to throw it out. So they all went there like, yeah, we want to get whatever we can get. They end up finding their daughter's cell phone in like a cabinet. They end up finding bondage toys, sex toys, lubricant, you name it, it's there. Narcotics. I mean, it's all there. So I'm going to play this video here and then we'll talk about this one too.
You know, if you were just watching the last part of this program, we told you a lot of evidence that was discovered, even after all of the additional evidence found on Friday by the families. You know, the police just opened up the scene again. Families came back and found another trove, even worse than the first trove, bloody clothes of toddlers, more restraints, Holly's handwriting on ledgers with children's names and birthdays. That's evidence that may have actually.
The other day on our live, I meant to point this out, and I don't know if it's just me or if like this is going to come out later, but this wall right here with the greenery, like this really tacky wall. Do you notice how like the computer monitors, and I noticed this the first time I saw it, but I didn't say anything, but now I'm seeing it again, I'm going to say something. Doesn't it look like they're kind of pointed towards that wall? Like maybe they were using that wall as a backdrop to like do videos or something. Like to me that like looks like it could be almost the world's worst backdrop. So keep your eyes peeled for that ugly backdrop. I think it'll show it some more when they pan around. Oh, you do have a picture of it, Kate Does Crime? I had no victims' names. Yeah, they were saying something like people were saying like stuff was coming out that wasn't necessarily true. I think people maybe were making stuff up as they go along. But I did hear about the ledger. I wonder if she brings it up in this, if Banfield brings it up in this episode video. Because I think she brings it up in the other one. Let's see. Yeah, to the left. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Like, it looks like greenery and, like, it's not even matched up right here. Like, if you look closely, it doesn't even look like the wallpaper is matched up. You have no volume or sound, Nancy? It's because I'm talking if you're thinking about Banfield. But I'll put it back on him.
Actually implicated Holly in these horrible crimes of her sex offender husband. Crimes in which she herself ended up murdered, as did her 3 children, before Jesse McFadden turned the gun on himself. This was exclusive video we brought to you on Friday. But now, in light of what's under those floorboards, the additional phones that were found with children's wallets on the back, additional drugs, additional restraints. We're now looking at this video with a whole new perspective. So I'm going to play this for you, and I'm going to pause it each time so that we can start looking not just at the restraints or the liquor and the drugs and the syringes, but now at what might be in the background, now that we know how much else was in that house. Bloodied children's clothes under the floorboards, restraints stuck behind the dresser. In this first tape I'm going to play you, the families of Ivy Webster and Brittany Brewer, who were the 2 kids who came on a sleepover and were murdered. They arrive on the scene. They are all focused on finding their daughter's phones, right? But then they notice there are beds in every single room. It is unusual. Watch it again. Make sure to pay attention to the background details, and we will pause it when there's something significant. Take a look.
A phone or phone case with like,
Man, I wanted to get that wall. Let me go back a little bit. I don't know why. This wall is really bothering me. Do people do that normally? Maybe they do color one wall. But like the curtains being like blacked out like that, to me that almost looks like you could use that for a backdrop. And then over to if you look to the left where that kitchen island is, that's where I believe the bolt was found. Yeah, the wall behind the TV. Like, because the computers are over to, like, the right. And then there's, like, this bed thing here. Well, it's like a chase, but I think someone was making it as a bed, it looks like almost. Yeah, the wall behind the TV. I'm thinking that, I don't know. It just looks like they would use that as, like, for, like, video or pictures or something. I don't know. It just looks like a backdrop to me, kind of.
with like the screen ghost face on the back.
Okay. I don't know.
There's a phone.
I don't know him, but I don't care about the phone. Yeah, next page.
Yeah, those are clicking skates.
While most people were looking at the beds, there are these computers, media devices, a DVD player, maybe a VHS player. A VHS tape was found with compromising information on it, a CD or DVD, and then big boxes and boxes of what looked like maybe more tapes. And if you think about a sex offender or pedophile, you imagine that tapes would be important to collect. Also in this next clip, I want to show you, most people were focused on the filth and the dead bugs on the floor of the house and in the kitchen. But I want you to look at some of the details around that when we play this next clip. The details around the dead bugs in the kitchen. Take a look.
This is the room. Do you remember when they said that they were making Riley sleep on their bedroom floor? Where was she sleeping at? There is no room on that floor. And then here, come over here and you know,
The focus here is that heating vent on the floor. And if you can see, the top of it is actually pulled out and cast to the side. Maybe it's an accident, or maybe it was a place to hide something, but that vent in the floor is pulled out and it's out on the side beside the hole in the floor. I want to take you now to the storage room. This is where the parents actually found their dead daughters' cell phones up on a shelf in a cupboard. I want you to look at it again, but take a look at some of the other details on the shelves near where the cell phones are found.
Give me something to grab.
Take a picture. Take pictures.
It's on video.
That's them. Hey, that's them.
Okay.
Use this sack. Dump these locks there.
No, those
No,
locks.
that's evidence too.
So is those
He
drugs.
just wants us.
Is that
it.
hers?
Yep. Okay. Hold on.
Call the sheriff.
Yep.
Don't touch them. Don't move them.
Let's back out.
That's good.
Okay. I'm
Call the
calling.
chief.
I'm calling him.
Smokey.
Are you done looking?
No.
No. I'm not done looking, but that's evidence.
Okay.
He used our daughter's cell phone.
And whatever's behind that.
Yep. Okay.
And they're not concerned about looking anywhere else.
This house needs to be stripped. Again, the parents were looking for the cell phones of their daughters, but look up top. Big bags filled with who knows what. Sharp edges, maybe equipment, books, tapes, who knows, but the police left it all there. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to.
That's a lot of stuff. They didn't even show you, that wasn't even the stuff we saw in the last episode on our last live, when we saw the toys and the bondage and the 2x4 in the wall that can hook you up and you're never going to get out of those restraints. And then I saw on another video, could have been on CLL's channel, or it could have been on one of the news things I've been watching, but like one of the closets looked like it appeared to have like a lock on the outside of the door, as if you were going to lock something or someone inside of the room. So I'm wondering what they used that for. It had like a lock and a key, so I wonder what's in there. Maybe that's where he kept all of his stash or something. Yeah, Mandy Joe. There's no way. I feel like this stuff wasn't just like placed there that night. This stuff was like there for a while. I feel like the sex toys were out where they were for a while. I feel like just everything. I mean, it was all out for a while. I know that they did just buy some of the locks and the chains. I think that one of the fathers said like that he found a receipt and he gave it to the police. So they have that. So hopefully the OSBI is on the case now. So hopefully since they have it, we'll see an improvement on, what's going on. But I saw a video the other day with that being said, and they didn't have any like crime scene tape up or anything out the house anymore. So I don't know what they could have collected really that fast. It's only been a couple weeks. It seems like they should be in there for a while. I mean, if you think about like Idaho, there was 4 people. They were in that house for what, like 6 weeks or something? Those investigators were in that house for a long time. This is a whole property. Like, you've got bodies over here. You've got bodies over here. So you've got Ivy, Brittany, and Riley. They're found together. Then you got Tiffany, Michael, Holly, and Jesse, and they're found together. They're approximately 100 to 150 yards from each other, and they're like a quarter mile from the actual house itself. So I'm just wondering how it all went down. I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts on that too. Oh, I thought it was the outside. Yeah, okay, because it was on the outside of the door, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to check on the dive team. We'll check Twitter real quick while we're paused here. Let's see if there's anything. Because they have a lot. We saw that in the beginning. You saw all of those ponds, right? Like, Oh my Lord. There's just so much land right there. Maybe it'll be under here. I don't see anything. But I'll look it up on here. Let me see. I don't see anything yet. Maybe that's a good thing. Yeah, Harley Rider. Hi, Mama's gonna flip. Happy Mother's Day to everybody coming into the chat also. If you guys wouldn't mind just hitting the like, it really goes a long way. Really helps the channel. Let's see, where are we at? Oh, I was gonna read you guys the beautiful letter that he wrote. So he wrote this letter that I'm gonna show you guys here. He wrote this to his judge. He wasn't even in prison for a year for rape conviction, and he wants to write the judge. This is October 11th, 2004, my graduation year. Dear Judge Taylor, and I'm going to try to read this because I know it's going to be bad handwriting. My name is Jesse McFadden. I was sentenced in your court to do 20 years for grand larceny and first-degree rape. I'm coming before you now for a sentence modification in hopes that you would lessen my time. I know that I done wasn't a honorable thing to do to another person. I can't begin to understand how I've changed the victim's life or how I've made her or her family feel. I can't imagine the pain that I have caused. I don't think it is possible to know such pain unless it happens to you. But I do not know that there is a lot of pain and suffering that I was the cause of that pain. Sorry, this handwriting's bad, or his grammar's bad. I feel very bad for what I have done. It's something that I think about every day. I sit and think about how I can change what I've done, but no matter how much I'd like to sit, there's nothing changing the past. So the future is all that's left to me so that I can change my ways and become a better person. Blah, 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 blah. I'm currently waiting for a spot to open in GED class so that I can better my education. Once I obtain my GED, I'll be getting into VTech so I can learn a trade. So I'll be better prepared for the world. I also plan to take a drug rehabilitation class. Well, guess he didn't take that, but he planned on it. Even though it wasn't a program that was required because I had a problem with drugs and alcohol. When I can find a facility with a sex offenders course, I'll be taking it also, but this facility does not offer that program. He's got some more. I want to do all of this because I like to get out and prove that I have changed and I am a better person. I'd like to be able to pay my court cost and my grandpa back the money I stole from him. He's getting old now, and I'm afraid that up for 20 years that he won't be around for me to pay him back and try to rebuild the friendship or relationship that I had with him before. This he's going hard. He's really trying, isn't he? I also believe that the longer I'm locked up, the harder it is going to be for me to make a decent living. I'm only 21 years old and haven't had much time in the workforce. So I would like to be able to, I don't know what that is, something enough to give back to the community, because the way things are going, I'll be almost 40 years old when I get out. Most people are getting settled into their lives and preparing for retirement. What? I'll just be starting out. Well, you don't do that to people, and you won't have to worry about that, will you? It says, I'll be just starting out, fresh out of prison, trying to build my life from the rubble that I've made of my life while trying to pay back over $64,000 in restitution and court cost. So I'm asking you to please allow me to use the opportunity given to me here in DOC to give back to the community. I'm asking for the opportunity to show the courts and community how DOC helped me to become a better person and the chance to pay back my debts. Thank you for hearing me out, and I look forward to hearing your decision. Jesse McFadden. So, yeah, he didn't get out that early, but he did get out. I think he served 85 or 75 of his sentence, 85%. So, I think they probably should have kept him in the whole 100%, but do we think it would have changed things? I don't know. This dude was bound and freaking determined, apparently. He wanted to take as many people out with him as he could. This is what I'm thinking. Those kids didn't deserve that. Hi, Evil CJ Show. How are you doing? Hey, Redwood. Happy Mother's Day to you guys. You guys are like, thanks. Thanks a lot. Got the guys coming in. Yeah, retirement at 40. I know. I was like, whoa, 40? That's like pretty young. I'm 37. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. So I don't have to do this for 3 more years. I'm ready to go. Because I'm like, okay. But yeah, he was in there when he was young, 21. I saw a picture of him when he first went in. He looked really young. Does anyone know how long they were together before they got married? I know they were married for a year, but how long Holly and Jesse were together before they got married, I wonder. If the grandfather has passed since the letter would look to his death, yeah. The DA first told his victim to forgive him. It was meth and uses every object in her dad's house on her. Yeah. Meth, wow. Retirement at 40. That's still getting me. Started in 2014. So that, oh, wow. And she could read that handwriting. She'd read these. I mean, I'm not one to judge on handwriting because my handwriting is chicken scratch. It's like, it's worse than chicken scratch. It's bad, I think. But, I mean, at least spell the words right. I feel like in prison, they usually learn how to spell pretty well because like they do a lot of letter writing. Maybe he should have stayed in longer. Penmanship would have been superb. And then they were saying he hired an actress to say that was the R-word victim, the victim in the case, and tell Holly that it was all a misunderstanding. I just think that if I was Holly, I wouldn't believe that. I don't even believe that he would do that. I don't even believe he did that. I don't think that he would spend the money on an actress. That's just me, though. I do have an excuse. I know. But this is like, I mean, I'm even seeing this bad. Your handwriting is terrible too, Parker. Mine is really bad. Where were we at in my notes? I'm like not with the program today. Oh, okay. So a lot of people were asking last time in the chat, like in the comments, why he wasn't on probation or something like along those lines, parole. I guess he wasn't on probation, but he had to check in, and you guys will have to let me know down in, because you guys are from that county or from that area, like Oklahoma. If he has to check in with a officer every 90 days, what do they call that? That in Ohio, that's probation or parole. When you check in with somebody to do like a urine test or to do just like a check-in, like, hey, I'm here, I'm not out harming anybody. But they are saying that he wasn't on probation. To me, if you're checking in with an officer, you're on probation. But you'll hear her say this in the video, and I'm like, wait a minute, then what is that? Because to me, if you're checking in on anything, like if you're checking in with an officer, you're either on probation, or if you're coming out of prison, normally you're on parole for a while, and maybe probation also. I know that if it's like misdemeanor crime, small felonies, things of that nature, it's like, they'll put you on probation. Wow, I didn't know you're from Ohio. Look at that. I didn't know that. Me too. I usually have an Ohio shirt on. I don't today. So he was out on bail. That's why he had to check in. Oh, they really wanted to make sure he was doing his P's and Q's, I guess, huh? He only did one home check. Yeah. Well, you see, I didn't think they really went to his house, but I thought that he would have to come in and check. I was just like, why is he checking in if he's not, like, if that's not considered probation? So I'll play this little video clip here for you.
Well, the Oklahoma State Department of
fix it.
This evening, we are back on the case, learning more about this man, Jesse McFadden.
He's accused of murdering his wife, her children, and 2 teens at a sleepover at his home before killing himself. News 4 was the only television station when the Webster family walked through the McFadden's home. Inside, Ivy's cell phone hidden in a cabinet.
3 other phones also found, along with laptops and drug paraphernalia. This video prompting state agents to take over the case. But there was something else inside that home.
Hundreds of pages of letters and journal entries written to McFadden's second victim, the only one he was going on trial for sexting.
News 4's Kaylee Olivas with details.
The burning question we've seen most people ask is, where was Jesse McFadden's probation officer? Well, the Oklahoma State Department of Corrections tells us he didn't have one, and that's because he wasn't on probation. He was required to check in every 90 days with the Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office, but a county investigator compared those checks to playing darts.
Still confused. Still a lot of answers that need to be given.
Jesse McFadden was convicted of rape and sentenced to 20 years in 2003. During his time, he was put on what's called a level 4, meaning he had, quote, outstanding behavior. That is until 2016, when he was caught with a cell phone authorities say he used to sext a teenage girl. The following year, he was charged with child porn, and his inmate status dropped to level 1. Only 5 months later, he was back on good terms. But at the same time, writing that same teenager letters from jail. This exclusive video shows copies of letters and journal entries, about 200 pages worth, found in McFadden's home last week. The victim told News 4 off camera she must have been 15 or 16 when McFadden wrote these. In the letters, McFadden told her how much he loved her and wanted to make her his wife. He also mentioned the sexual acts he would perform on her. Written in almost every letter, this quote, "I'm doing everything to get out sooner." McFadden went on to complete 85% of his sentence, which is required by the state. And after 17 years, and with his good credits, he was released, despite still facing a child porn charge. McFadden wasn't on probation. He did have to check in with the Okmulgee Sheriff's Office every 3 months. The DOC claims he was compliant with this, but a sheriff's investigator has painted a different picture.
So who is supposed to be checking on the sexual offender?
It's public record. It's everywhere.
So nobody's supposed to come and do checks?
We do compliance checks, but it's like tell a dart, see which one we're going to do, because that's all we have the resources to do.
Your video is undeniable. It's undeniable that you blew it.
News 4 reached out to the Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office for a detailed record of McFadden's compliance checks, but we haven't heard back. All the while, a pending child porn charge that took 3 years for a trial date to be set.
The story from the district attorney's office is that, one, they got caught up into, they had a prosecutor break an ankle. That delayed the trial. Then the pandemic happened.
Cameron Spradling, the attorney for Ivy Webster's family, also claims a defense attorney in McFadden's case died from COVID. And finally, on the day the trial is supposed to start, McFadden killed 6 people, then himself. And according to NBC News, sometime before the killings, McFadden sent these social media messages to his child pornography victim. He tells her, quote, "I told you I wouldn't go back. This is all on you for continuing this." A delay in justice, Ivy's family says, led to innocent lives being lost. In Henryetta, Kaylee Olivas, Oklahoma's News 4.
Jesse McFadden was also required to let the State Department of Human Services know he would be living with his 3 stepchildren. We've reached out to DHS to confirm if he did, but they say they are unable to release that information.
Well, isn't that convenient? They cannot release that information. I think this whole department is ass backwards. Hopefully the OSBI is doing a lot better job. I heard that they're really good, but I don't know. I'm not from Oklahoma. Me either. No sympathy. And who wanted to marry him? Good golly, Miss Jolly. But you know, they're smooth operators when they're in jail. They are the smoothest of talkers. Like, they really are. They could talk your pants off. That's all they have to do. Three hots and a cot and a pen and paper. That's all they've got is time. Time to butter you up. Time to, do what they're going to do. She might have been smarter when she was younger, and then he just played her like a fiddle or something. But either way, you can't dispute what we saw in that home. I mean, did she never move a bed? Did she never clean? I mean, well, okay, we know she did it because we saw the house, but you know what I mean? Like, the chains, the bondage is all just out in the open. He didn't do that after he shot everybody. I don't believe that. I don't think he went back to the house and was like, okay, let's stage this to look even crazier. So they should have never let the families go in there. They should have never gave the property back to the owner. I wonder who was leasing the property, and I wonder how much they were paying for that property a month. It's a pretty vast property. It's pretty big. I don't know how much land goes for like out there, but it looked like it cost you a little bit. You would think that he would have to do a background check for work, or maybe he didn't. Yeah, someone needs to be held accountable. $2,500 per month? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for that place. Well, so you better give me another home on that property for $2,500 a month. Yeah, the victims families found the phones, and that's crazy. I'm just reading your guys' stuff because I haven't heard from his mom. I want to hear from her. I'll have to look her up. They were renting 5 acres. Yeah, this could have been prevented. I never stayed at anyone's house growing up. I wish I knew what it felt like to go to something. I just never did. My parents never had me stay anywhere other than my aunts. I stayed there a couple times, but my mom, I think she wasn't a helicopter mom by any means. By any means. She always let us do our own thing. But at the same time, I think she kind of just kept us she was a little more guarded. H-Town Finest, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking he might have had a little side business going with the videos. And I think that if they found a VHS, if you find a VHS tape, but it said it had the way that it sounded like it had something on it. But if it doesn't, then it could be anything. I have literally, I think I told you guys this when we talked about it on the last live. I have a VHS player. It's in a box in my shed, in our storage. And it has 2 VHS tapes in there, in the box. Probably looks super creepy, but it's just a couple Christmases with my parents. I love those videos, and I've never got them transferred over to a disc, so I just keep the VHS player. And I think Holly knew about this stuff, in my opinion. There's no way that you can hide all that. You can hide a lot. I'm sure he hid a lot from her. He probably, he may even hid what he was charged with all the way, but it takes 2 seconds to look someone's record up. You just go to the clerk of courts, you know what I mean? In the county. Why didn't she supposedly did that, I guess, because that was the, between her and, the kids' was their father and then one of the kids' father. He said that she told him that she did a background check and he came back and he was fine. So I don't know if she ever really did that or if that's just hearsay, but you can't hide that big red toy. Nope. H-Town Finest, you cannot. I think it's going to run real deep. I think it's going to go deeper. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of time. I kept looking stuff up today too. I'm like, is anything going on? Anything else? Is anything going on? But it's only a few, I've only seen News Nation other than local news covering it. No one's really picked it up. So I hope that, more people do. Because I know that this is the most body count of a case that I've covered, except for one other case. And that was Piketon Massacre. And that happened right from where I grew up about a 25 30 minutes from there, so I did that. Confirm that. Oh, I don't know. I can't confirm that. I don't know. Yeah, so I think that she knew a good amount and then he hid a good amount. I think it was a little of both. I think it was a little of both myself too. I think that it's crazy. It's easy to fall for people when they're like not like in person, but more like when it's penmanship. You see it. We've seen it in the Brian Kohlberger case. Look at all the women that are trying to write to him and give him money. And I mean, some girls like that kind of a lifestyle. She could have been that kind of a woman too. Nancy says, a helicopter mom, and proud of it. Aww. You see the same parenting in yours? Aw. Yeah, no, my mom, she always let us do our thing. It was like almost to a fault in a way, like, Mom, don't let us do that. But she was still like, we were always at home. I don't know. Also, she did have a CPS case before? I didn't know about that. Wow. I wonder what it was for. Neglect or not taking care of your kids? Wow. CPS, that's big. That's a big deal. Like, that's a big deal. Man. So, Banfield put on this on the other night. So the apple it doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess you could say, in the McFadden household. He has a brother named Cody McFadden, and he also has violent criminal past. Yeah, so the CPS came before he got out. Well, I wonder what it was for. Drugs? Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Wow. Okay, let me see here. I'll share this with you guys. And I'll be in the chat with you too. This is his brother, about his brother Cody here. Like I said, he's just as good as his brother. I bet his parents are proud. I bet their mom's real proud. And I mean, apparently she is, because you guys are saying that she's the one that bails them out of everything. And that reminds me of somebody I know growing up. My mom worked with this person's mom. And it's like two people just split off. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was this way, this person's family, and this person went like that way, in that direction. And his mom was like a big heroin addict, and then he became one, and then he went to jail for stealing, or prison, and then he got out, and his mom would bail him out of everything, would give him an excuse for his actions, or just, I mean, excuse everything. Go out of her way to do things so that he could come home and stay with her, like getting a phone line so that he had a way to hook up his little ankle monitor, because they needed like a landline there for that, and things of that nature. And she was always like, but he's going to get better. He'll do better. He'll be better. He's probably back in jail. He's probably back in prison. I mean, for surely, he probably is. So I'm sure that his mom is probably the same way. And she's probably going to continue to be that way with her son, Cody.
You've been hearing a whole lot about Jesse McFadden in the last week, the man who murdered his wife, her 3 kids, and 2 kids who came for a sleepover, and probably molested and maybe murdered many other children. Some of the children featured in photographs and ledgers found in his sex torture chamber home by family members of the victims, and then eventually by the police. And it turns out Jesse had a younger brother, still does, in prison, guy named Cody McFadden. And apple didn't fall far from Jesse's tree there. Cody McFadden has quite a rap sheet of his own, sadistic and violent crimes. Let's just run through them since 2010, shall we? making meth, assault with a deadly weapon, battery, aggravated assault, arson, assaulting a doctor, assaulting a police officer, cruelty to animals, and just most recently, last summer, that's July of 2022, he locked his ex-girlfriend in a dog cage for an entire day. He tortured her. He beat her bloody with a stick to the point where there was blood on every part of her body. He reportedly used jumper cables to electrocute her. She escaped, and he set his house on fire in a standoff with the police. He's currently in jail on kidnapping and felony assault. And to prove how dangerous he is, he's on $1 million bond. $1 million bond. This is a guy who reported he had zero assets, zero income, that his entire employment was considered food stamps. A guy who has no money and gets $1 billion bond. That's a guy they don't want getting out. That's a dangerous, dangerous felon. And that's Jesse McFadden's dear brother. I want to bring in Robin Dreek. He's a retired FBI special agent who managed the Bureau's counterintelligence behavioral analysis program. Robin, first of all, let's just talk about Cody for a minute. How was a guy walking the streets as early as July of last year and able to commit that hideous and sadistic series of crimes against that girlfriend, that ex-girlfriend, with 15 years of violent criminal felony behavior? How was he walking the street last summer?
How's any of this happen, Ashley? This whole system down there right now is broken. As your last guest is saying, the former ADEC, he articulated perfectly. Everything down there needs to be redone and revamped, and you need to bring in outside people right now. The leadership needs to be shaken up massively. I can't explain any of this. It's just tragic, all of it, internally, externally, everything.
I feel like the FBI should be all over it, and the Oklahoma authorities should just pack up and head out, especially how they're treating the press, telling the family members, we're not their friends, don't speak to the press, and then denying us any transparency at all when we just asked for the warrant. The results of the warrant, please. In the same place you screwed up so massively for 9 straight days. Can't get that either. Our Freedom of Information request was denied. No reason given other than the law, which is baloney, and we know it. Okay, the other thing I needed to ask you about is looking at Cody McFadden as compared to Jesse McFadden. Is there such a thing as a bad gene? It's shocking to me to see this much sadistic criminal behavior among brothers.
So yes, I'll say it's always a blend of nature and nurture in situations. And clearly there's a lot of nature in here too, because lightning very rarely strikes twice to that degree genetically, but it couldn't happen. But definitely there's a lot of behaviors, and both these individuals have what I call reps. They had a lot of early reps in life and started with animal cruelty most likely, and started to abuse them, and they just kept escalating throughout their lives. And when you start feeding on that, and you're in a community that's feeding on that, and like I just learned on your show tonight, that there's a lot of other child offenders in the area, that is just a really bad situation where people are feeling safe to do really heinous crimes. And so that makes a recipe for disaster as well.
And that information came to us from the lawyer for Ivy Webster's parents. Ivy Webster, one of the sleepover children who had come for a slumber party and ended up murdered along with 6 others. The other question I have for you is it so far off to think that Cody may have engaged in any of the same criminal activities as his brother, given the fact that there was so much opportunity for Cody, who lived just around the corner and at one point lived in his mother's house with his brother when they were adults, so much opportunity for criminal behavior right inside that sickening farmhouse. Is it a stretch to think that maybe Cody might be involved as well?
I don't think it's a stretch at all. I mean, it makes sense. You have time and space overlaps. You have modus of life overlaps. They have very similar violent backgrounds. And so right now, and I love the fact that your last guest said one of the things the FBI does really well is the child protection task force that we have. And that is they come in and they can start drawing linkages through data online, through the dark web, all these things to start spreading this net out to kind of figure out who's who, who's doing what, find victims and find the perpetrators more than anything, because they're out there. We have an opportunity here, if handled well,
hey, Robin,
to do that.
wouldn't it be nice? Would it be nice if we could announce to that community that the Oklahoma State authorities, the Sheriff's Department, the FBI, they need your help. If you think you may have been abused by this person, we need your help to find others. Nope, they won't speak to us at all. They won't even tell us what they took from the house. I think they're covering their butts in the worst way at this point. And it's shameful to see what's transpiring in this awful, awful case. Robin Drake, this is not the last time we're going to talk. We're learning new things every day. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You betcha, Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
So that's his brother. Fine gentleman, you know. Could you imagine? Like, it's almost like, what's her name? Billy Joe from the Quentin Simon case. She has two kids that are murderers. This lady's got 2 kids. One of them's murdered 6 people. The second one, I mean, we don't know what he's capable of yet. We haven't seen what he's capable of yet. It looks like he's just getting started with this criminal record there we've seen. Oh, actually, speaking of criminal records, I forgot to show you this. This was what he was, so when our guy Jesse was in prison, these are all the things that he was charged for while he was, or got in trouble for while he was in custody. March 2004. He went in 2003. Possession of tobacco. That's not too bad, but you know. 2005, possession of cigarettes. I think that's when they started to get smoking out of places. So, 2005, tested positive for THC. 2007, out of cell during lockdown. 2009, sexual activity. 2010, sexual activity. Wonder what those are. 2010, battery of another person. 2013, possession of a cell phone. 2016, possession of a cell phone. 2016, law violation. And he was still let out. To me, you know. Yeah. Oh, I did see that summer she had. Yeah. I did see that the victim came forward. And I cannot, whew. I can't put, man, my heart goes out to both of his victims, well, all of his victims, all of them. There's so many now. Yeah, H-Town's finest, he likes them all. Boys, girls, he don't care, I guess. And I guess that night I'm assuming he just picked that night because he wanted to take everybody out that he could take out with him. But I feel like this isn't his first rodeo with this. I feel like this isn't the first time that he's done something. Maybe not of this magnitude, of course, because this is a lot of people. But there's a lot of property there. Now, I did hear that there were, and I didn't put this in the live because I didn't see anything else on it, but I heard that there were like bones found out there. Now, is that something that people were just like, throwing out there? Does anyone know? Or does anyone know if there's any merit to that? And it could have been like any kind of bones too. It could be animal. I don't know. Yeah, he was let out on good behavior. They haven't confirmed yet, Jan, if they have found anyone. But this is the last video I was going to show you guys. Banfield just talks about the potential for more missing people, and she has all of these kids that are. I wanted to show you this video to you guys too, because on the screen with her during the whole segment, she has missing children from the area scrolling like on the screen. I think she said from the area anyway. Nookie, yeah, probably animal. That's what I was thinking. It probably might be animal bones. Plus, it could be like maybe if they had like a pet cemetery or something, kind of like Chad Daybell. I don't know. People do have pet cemeteries though. My brother almost has one now. We buried 2 or 3 dogs out on his property. So okay, so maybe just They haven't confirmed if it was. Okay, because I heard it and I was like, man, did anyone say anything else about that? Because it was a small segment I saw it on and I was like, okay. 200 plus in Oklahoma since its release. Wow. Wow, so many missing. That's so many. That's so many kids. I was just trying to read the chat. Oh, wow. That's a lot of missing people, guys. Let's go over here and check this out. Let's see if I can get there first.
This is an active crime scene. This case is solved. The pictures that you see scrolling on your screen right now are missing children in Oklahoma. And we've only chosen the missing children who have gone missing since Jesse McFadden was let out of prison in November of 2020. So for the entire time that I'm going to discuss this next segment, you will see these children and their names and their faces and their ages. They are all missing. This came to us from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The curious thing is why were these kids not top of mind when they found that horrible sex chamber? Why did they not think it was possible, maybe even probable, given that Jesse McFadden murdered his entire family and 2 kids on a sleepover? And then he had all of that sex paraphernalia and dungeon-like equipment in his home. Why is it not plausible that maybe one of these kids may have been there? Maybe one of these kids may have died there. Lynn Wyatt is the aunt of Holly. Holly is his wife. She got a bullet to the head too. It is possible she was even complicit in these sexual crimes that occurred there. Why? Because she said, although it's being disputed, she said she found blood-covered children's clothes under the floorboards of the house, ledgers with names and ages, that's not being disputed, hidden Velcro restraints, not disputed, handfuls of pictures, somewhat disputed, dozens of cell phones, and even bones on the property. And yet, a deputy told these family members, this isn't an active crime scene, it's solved. What good would it do to continue working in here to solve? The only person who knows what happened here is dead. What good would it do? What good would it do? Look at these faces. Look at these faces of missing kids. This is what good it might do. We might get some answers. Every one of these kids represents a family with a hole in their heart. They need answers. They deserve answers. And they deserve police to give them those answers. Joining me now is Kathleen Canning-Mello. She was an FBI agent and profiler for more than 30 years, specializing in violent crime and investigations involving children. What are the chances, Kathleen, that there were more victims, possibly some of these kids, that had seen that home?
I think there is definitely a possibility, and given what we know about Jesse McFadden's behavior, the fact that he was a sexual predator, and I'm seeing many characteristics of psychopathy in his behavior as well, during the decades-long patterns that we have seen during his lifetime of offending, I think it's a question that needs to be answered. And I think now I'm happy and relieved to see that the OSBI is now investigating this case, and especially having taken control of all of those electronic devices, because those would be the first things that we would seize in a case like this in order to determine what kind of collection he may have had in those devices, who he was corresponding with over the last few years. And what's really, I think, important to note when I'm thinking about psychopathy, you know, his lack of empathy, the fact that he had early behavioral problems going back to his teen years in terms of his sexual predation of others. But also this manipulation that we see when he had told Holly, he actually had hired somebody to tell Holly that the violent rape that he had committed back in 2003 was not a rape, and that it was a misunderstanding. So there are a lot of red flags for me that may indicate that he may have other victims, because he was a very prolific sex offender and very highly competent in terms of his manipulation of others.
Can I ask you, when Aunt Lynn told us that she discovered when she moved a dresser Velcro restraints that were taped to the back of the dresser, and asked, this is in her estimation, this is her description, she asked the officer who was on scene, would you like to take them? He said, no, you can either toss them out or take them home, but everything here is going to be thrown out. I just imagine that Velcro restraints would be rich with evidence and DNA. I would assume that's how you match potential kids like this with scenes like that. But the sheets, the bedding, the restraints, everything seemed to be left behind, just rich with all this evidence.
Yes, I mean, from the start, this should have been a very intensive forensic search of that house. So, of course, collect all the electronic gaming equipment, all of the computers, but all of those items that may have DNA on them, particularly those restraints. And we know about him in the 2003 rape that he had used restraints against his victim. So this is something that is part of his sexual arousal patterns. I see sadism in his behavior as well, this potential torture, as you're calling it in your program, that is sexually arousing to him. So that's very important to him, and you're going to see elements of that in his pornography collections as well. And also that compulsiveness of his behavior, right? He's serving time for a sexually violent rape against a minor. He hasn't even completed the sentence, and he's sexting another minor in an effort to receive sexually explicit photos from that minor. I mean, that is
and
really
charged with it. Never
right.
adjudicated, because on day one of the trial, he put a bullet in his own head and everyone else's. I have to leave it there, Kathleen Canning-Mello. Thank you for this, but I do want to tell our audience that they can look to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Check the database there. There are lots of resources. Just go to missingkids.org. You can find out more about the kids here. By the way, one of them, Ronnie Marshall, is from McAllister, which is where the McFaddens lived. It's very distressing. Again, thank you so much, Kathleen. Appreciate it.
Wow, that was a lot of missing kids. Do you think, like, do you think there could be more people on that property? That's a big property. Yeah, check under the house. And I wonder what was underneath the, I wonder what was in that vent. Because the vent was, that is weird to have your vent like off of the actual hole that it goes into and have it sitting beside it. Like, maybe that's where his gun was. That's what I was thinking, but maybe that's where his drugs were and his gun. Maybe that was his little safe right there. Floorboard safe. I haven't seen a floorboard in a while. We have them in our, they're in a ceiling, so. I think that I think it's a very big possibility that there could be more victims out there, and I think it's a big possibility that we're going to hear about more victims. We've heard, from a couple people that have come out. So, or one girl that's come out, I believe, it's just been the one. So, I'm wondering, I forget, how long have they lived on this property? Does anyone know? Let me see your comment. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, where are they going to take it? Hopefully the OSBI, they seem to know what they're doing. The local sheriff's department, not so much. Not so much. But that's all I really have for tonight. But I did want to tell you guys this at the end of the live because it's a doozy. If you guys see me make a live this week that says Idaho 4, Justin, come out and play, that's because Justin's come back out to play. If you don't know who Justin is from the Idaho 4 case, he is this person that went on a couple panels, spewed his lies everywhere, and then when he was supposed to show his receipts, he said, give me until this date, this date, this date, I'm gonna have receipts, I'm gonna have receipts, I'm gonna have receipts. He didn't produce the receipts. So I did a live. I just did my regular Saturday live last night. We did Idaho 4. We brought up Justin because we were in the comments and it came up, and He commented on every video I think I've ever covered on the Idaho 4 case today. I'm letting him go. I'm letting him go at it. I can't keep up with him. I was in the shower. I can hear my phone vibrating. I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't even do this today. I mean, I haven't got the time. He came, oh yeah. He came in the comments. Yeah, he's got comments going. I'm just like, oh, Lord have mercy. So if any of you guys interact with a guy named Justin and you're like, wow, what is this guy talking about? It's Justin. Justin. I'm just like, and he keeps saying, like stuff like he didn't lie and he had to go in hiding. And I'm like, bitch, you haven't been in hiding. You've been on Facebook. You've been at the Cubs games or Red Sox or whoever he likes, the baseball games. But yeah, Justin. No, I'm not joking, Parker. He's there. He's everywhere, all over it. I was like, get off my page. I kept saying that. I said, we don't believe you over here. Like, I told him to go back to TNT. Straight point blank period. I told him. I said, go back to TNT. Maybe she'll take you back. And you guys will be happy together. Because that's where he started all of his madness. But I don't think she wants him back. So I'm just like, no, the stuff, Kate does crime. The stuff that he was sharing was so unbelievable that I think the day the video came out, I did like a live that night. I was on one. I was all over it. Maybe you should go back and watch that live. I was like, this guy's full of all of it. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I thought maybe in the beginning he'd be in the chat, but I'm gonna end up calling him out to play. Because he's just like, he's so far out of there, He's probably lurking. He's probably got us and everybody. He's probably got like screens going everywhere with his 1950s fan going behind him. Maybe he cleaned up the mess. So what I think he's done is over the last couple months that he's been gone, he's just filled his head with all this more rubbish, and now he's back. Yeah, he had to go in the hiding for the rumor he was spreading. You're right, Parker. Yeah, that's what it was. He's like, I had to go to... And then because he said, first thing he said to me was, bad choice. My attorneys will be seeing you. This is my first YouTube lawsuit, fake lawsuit. Guys, this is my first one. And I have orange flags coming today. They should be here now. I'm going to wave, instead of the red, I'll wave the orange one for Justin. I got the orange flags coming, so for after court when they go to prison, because, orange jumpsuits. So, I'll be over here waving my flags like crazy. But he's got so many. I'm just like, his attorneys, yeah. He's like, my attorneys. And then another message was, my attorneys work really hard for me. And I'm like, no one's talking to you. No one was even talking to him. I'm like, stop commenting on stuff that people's posted years ago, like months ago. Like, oh, is it? It's Liam? Oh, yeah, it's Liam. We're going to go start calling him everything. He's trying to get numbers. Well, he got the 1,000 subscribers he needed to get his channel monetized because he did that stint with TNT. So I thought he would use his own platform. You would think. But maybe I can get him and Kim up here at the same time. Now that would be a panel. Now I'm on one. That's what I'm going to do. Be waiting for that cease and desist to be served. Yep. I told him, I said, here's my email. Give it to your lawyer. I told him, I said, here it is. Tell him to reach out. We'll talk. I didn't even say anything bad about him anyway in the live, which was funny because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I could have said some really bad things, but I didn't. I just called him a liar. And he is. He's a liar. You are a liar. You're a liar. I don't know if I'm looking at the camera when I said that, so I want to say it a couple times. Just so he knows that I'm looking. But yeah. Was that where he got it? Kate does crime. I don't even know where he was. I mean, he was making, he did say the Brian's defense team hired him. See, I can't, because everyone took down their old Justin interviews, but I have my video. Ooh, I'm going to have to go back on one of my lives. I bet you. I don't know what it's titled. I wonder if it's titled Justin or something in the title. Keeps autocorrecting. Yeah, no, I hate autocorrect. That's the guy. No, the special, or not special forces, but he was in like he was in what, the army for like a minute, like 1 second or something. The agency I work for. Yeah, that's what he said. Oh my Lord. Yeah. So that's what we need to do, Summer, because I know that you would remember this if I don't remember to do this, and I know you will. We need to screenshot every message he's put through the chat, the comments. Summer's probably like already on it, already got like an album ready. But because if he like goes to block himself, or do you know what I mean? Like remove himself, I want to make sure I've got all of his sweet little messages he's been writing. So, oh, the Harley rider in Georgia, you guys sound like their inmates are pretty nice, nicely whitely dressed. Already did it, she said. I figured you probably already did. I forgot to do it when he was sending them. I'm like, man, I should really be screenshotting these. He was saying it all. He was saying that, Dylan was trans and that she was going to come out. I think it was like the 11th. I want to say the 11th. So it had to have been February 11th? March 11th? March 11th? Was it that? It's been long. No, it's probably been since March. But I don't know why that date is sticking in my head, like the 11th, 10th, something like that. But he was supposed to come out with his stuff. Oh, there's Rick. He's out loud now. My uncle's name's Rick. Are you my uncle? Is that you? Is that you, Dickie? That's what my dad used to call my uncle. Oh, wow. Yeah, he had me, oh my Lord. He needs a hug me jacket. He does. He needs it. Oh man, I wish, I'm gonna have to go back on my live. I'm gonna have to watch, I've never watched any of my old lives all the way through, but I might have to watch that one just so I can see what he was saying, because he was saying so much off the wall shit. Like he rambled for days. He went on panels like it was like going out of style. So we're gonna have to do a live over it. It'll just be like fun just to do one. We'll call him out. Oh, but he wasn't the first trans. Yeah, is that what he was saying? He was the first one. I knew he was saying that he was in the special forces, and good golly, Miss Jolly. And I'm Abraham Lincoln, get me a top hat. He said it goes back to 2018. None of them would have been in college in 2018. That's true. Speaking of the devil, let's see something here. I'm gonna have to do it. We're gonna do a live on him. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just do a whole live over it, because it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me. And maybe he'll come out and he'll hang out with us, because he says some off the wall stuff. I mean, I've never had anybody on my panel like him. He's something else. I don't even know what he's commented at this point. He's been commenting all day. I just was like laughing, because he was commenting on stuff that like people posted forever ago. And then I was like, well, maybe he's doing it to other channels. So I need to go back and check other channels to see if he's over there trolling too. She wasn't the first bottom down. Nucky. I think I still have his video he put out on that Justin's channel. Really? Oh, let me know if you do. Because I have his channel, but he took all of his videos down, so, which is so strange, because he was telling the truth this whole time, and he's doing all these grand things, and he's not even from there. He's from Chicago. Like, what are you doing, weirdo? Why are you over here in Idaho digging up nothing? I mean, because like Payne and the chief were supposed to be married. Yeah, so my email is titaniumboo@gmail.com too. I know I can put it in the chat for you. That'd be great. And there, it should be spelled right. Titanium Bill. Yeah. Yeah, no, he was he was never in special forces. I don't even know when he transitioned, actually. I can't remember. I can't remember when that was, but yeah, he likes to lie. I mean, the kid, I guess he has nothing to do. I don't know how you just have get that vast of information. Like, he has a vast wealth of information. If he used his brain for good, he might actually be smart and do something like, good. But he likes to come in instead into the comment sections and paste, copy and paste 4 paragraphs on why it's not Brian Kohlberger. Or, you know, it's new stuff now. It's not even his old stuff. I can't keep up with his new stuff. So if you want to see what he's now talking about, you can check the comments section out. Too bad you can't search by name. Yeah, I want him and Kim on the panel. Yep. I love that idea. Who else do we have? When there's all, oh, and then we have the new guy, the new person, new frat Dave. That's not really his name, but that's what they're calling him. So maybe I can get them 3. And then maybe if we had all 3 of them on panel, they could talk amongst themselves, and I just step out, and then they'll figure, and they will solve the whole case. And then we'll be good. Be good. Joe, look at us. He said, I just read the comments on last night's live. It was bad last night. Or it wasn't bad, but it was crazy in the comments last night. Oh yeah, where is Eddie? Eddie came in here, gave some super chats, and then went to sleep, I think. Caroline, yeah, I couldn't remember the person's name. Yeah. I didn't know if the comments would still show up or not. I was thinking that this morning. I was like, they're going to think I'm going crazy because I'm talking to myself. But she was attacking everybody in the chat last night. I couldn't have it anymore. I let her go for like a good hour or so. He's lurking. I was going to say that's over. Yeah, he's always around. He'll be like, here I am. Where are you at, Eddie? Oh, wait, is Glowbug still in here? Did she get, did they get each other's stuff last night? We're trying to make a love connection on the live last night. We're just trying. Oh, they disappeared when they blocked her. That's what I thought. Man, maybe I need to unblock her so the messages can be back. She said she died twice after I said I died twice. Like, I was kidding. I said I died for 10 minutes and then 25 minutes. And then she said in the chat that she died when she was 7 and 22. I was like, wait a second here. I was like, no, this is just, then she had already said she already knew Kara Kernodle. She knew where bin Laden was before the United States even knew. The government knew. She knew where bin Laden was. That's when I stopped the chat. So you guys are probably like, oh my Lord. But she was blocking everybody in the chat. Everyone was like, we can't see her anymore. So I'm like, well, if it's just me and her having a conversation, then that's not fun. She found bin Laden. She did. That's what she said before anybody. She found bin Laden. When that hit the chat, that's when my head hit the desk. I was just like, what? Now? And then Kara Kernodle. And then someone else, some serial killer. But she doesn't do interviews. I said, well, I don't do interviews either then. So did we in a cave? Yeah. Oh, it was Carolyn, one of this lady that was in here last night. I don't know. She was just saying the most. I'm just trying to think of everything, man. It's Saturday. Saturdays are like in the chat here you guys got to come in the chat on Saturdays. It's the funnest. It's the best. We at least have one person that rolls in like a tumbleweed that just goes through the whole chat. Like with the quickness. And, you know, there's Eddie. He's there. Found bin Laden. Didn't find Jesus, but she sure found bin Laden in a hurry. My Lord. Okay, well, you know, I'm going to get off here. But I do love you guys, and have a great Mother's Day. I have to go over to Target and grab some drinks and stuff for the crew. Vince is probably taking a nap. He was doing that earlier. I'm like, oh, what do you get, a nap? I don't get a nap. It's Mother's Day. So this is an early live tonight. So I hope you guys have a great day. We'll probably have a live tomorrow. So I will see you guys all on tomorrow's live. Thanks, Eddie, for the super things. I appreciate that. Thank you for the memberships, guys. I saw you guys gifted memberships earlier. Thank you guys so much for doing that. I only see it if it's on the iPad, and I wasn't looking that direction at the time. And then I was like, oh no. So thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate that. So yeah, maybe we can get them all to come up on panel with us. But I will see you guys all on the next live. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or the next day. Bye, guys.